Task number 3 in public key cryptography basics. Task number 3, RSA. RSA is a public key encryption algorithm that enables secure data transmission over insecure channels. With an insecure channel, we expect adversaries to eavesdrop on it. The math that makes RSA secure. RSA is a method for encrypting data using two keys. One to lock, encrypt, and another one to unlock, decrypt. It, relying on the difficulty factor of large numbers, is based on mathematical difficult problem of factoring a large number. Multiplying two large prime numbers is a straightforward operation. However, finding the factors of a huge number takes much more computing power. It's simple to multiply two prime numbers together, even on paper. Say 113 and 120. 113 multiplied by 127 equals 14,351. Even for larger prime numbers, it would still be a feasible job, even by hand. Consider the following numeric example. Prime number 1 is this one, which is a huge number. And then prime number 2, which is again a huge prime number. Their product, basically multiplication, check this out, it's a huge number. On the other hand, it's pretty tricky to determine what two prime numbers multiply together to make 14,430 and 51. And even more challenging to find the factor of this. In real-world examples, the prime numbers would be much bigger than the ones in the example. A computer can easily factorize this thing. Basically, computers are good at this, numbers. However, it cannot factorize a number with more than 600 digits. And you would agree that the multiplication of the two huge prime numbers, each around 300 digits, would be easier than factorization of their product. Numerical example. Let's revisit encryption, decryption, and key usage in asymmetric encryption. The public key is known to all correspondents and is used for encryption, while the private key is protected and used for decryption, as shown in the figure below. We have Alice and Bob. We are used by them. We have again Alice and Bob. We have a plain text that we want to encrypt. The encryption of that plain text gives a ciphertext. We use the public key in order to encrypt this. Bob receives the message, we receive the cipher key, and he uses his private key. He only he has, and can see our plain text. In the cryptography basic room, we explained the modulo operator and said it plays a significant role in cryptography. In the following simplified numerical example, we see the RSA algorithm in action. Bob chooses two prime numbers, P157 and Q199. He calculates N equals P multiplied by Q and gives this number. With the following symbols, for this one, we go to Google and say, explain the following symbol. So the symbol is using lowercase Greek letter pi, typically represents the Euler's totient function. Euler's pi function in number theory. For positive integer, n is defined as the count of positive integers less than or equal to n that are relatively prime to n. Two numbers are relatively prime or coprime if their greatest common divisor, GCD, basically greatest common divisor, is 1. Going back here, so with pi n equals n minus p minus q plus 1. And we have that big number, minus 157 minus 199 plus 1. We have this one. Bob selects E equals 163 such that E is relatively prime to pi n. Moreover, he selects the D 379 where E multiplied by D equals 1 modulo pi n. That is E multiplied by D. So basically you can basically see the math. The public key is NE, that is this. And the private key is this, that is There you go. Let's say the value they want to encrypt is this one. Then Alice would calculate, sorry, and send the following. Bob will decrypt the received value by calculating x equals y to the power of d modulo n equals the following. This way, Bob recovers the value that Alice sent. So in here, we have the value that Alice sent. You can see the math, right? If we want Alice sends 13, she wants to send 13. Well, basically, you can see the math over here. Is basically our value to the power of 163, right? Which then modulo of this value, 13 to the power 163, to 31,243, right? Is this. And then Bob, in order to get what Alice sent, takes this result to the power of 379, right? Modulo that number, right? And equals 13, which is the value that Alice sent. The proof that the above algorithm works can be found in modular algorithmic and is beyond the scope of this module. It is worth repeating that in this example we picked a 3-digit prime number, while in the actual application P and Q would be at least 300 digits prime number each. Yeah, so basically in Britannica, if you want to check this and read more about this modular algorithmic stuff, you can read over there. RSA in CTFs. The math behind RSA comes up relatively often in CTFs, requiring you to calculate variables or break some encryption based on them. Many good articles online explain RSA, and they will give you almost all of the information you need to complete the challenges. One good example of RSA CTF challenges is the breaking RSA room, which is obviously in Try Hack Me. We will do it. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Here it is. Intermediate level, right? We will do this. We'll come back to that. There are some excellent tools for defeating RSA challenges in CTFs. My favorite, RSA CTF tool, which was working very well for me. I also had some successful with RSA tool. You need to know the main variables for RSA in CTFs: P, Q, M, N, E, D, and C. As per our numerical example, P and Q are large prime numbers. N is the product of P and Q. The public key is N and E. The private key is N and D. M is used to represent the original message, that is plain text. C represents the encrypted text, that is ciphertext. Crypto CTF challenges often present you with a set of these values, and you need to break the encryption and decrypt the message to retrieve the flag. Answer the questions below. Knowing the P equals 4,391 and Q equals 6,659. What is N? N is the product of P and Q. So, alright, so we have to download this. No worries, we'll just say calculator. Actually, let's open up the terminal because we have Python. We need a product of 4,391 multiplied 6,659. There you go. Knowing the P equals the same number as above and Q equals the same number as above, what is pi n? All right, let's open our Python session. Now we have pi n. Okay, always on top. Let's see. First things first, pi n equals n, which is this number. Then minus p, which is minus 4,391 minus q 6,659 plus 1. There you go. This is the answer to our second question.